Hello, crafty friends. Today I'm gonna share how I organize when I start making a mini album. So my husband and I went to Nashville in July 2024, and this is the album I've decided to put our pictures in. It was an album, pre-made album by, it was a new company that my local scrapbook store started carrying. Let me see if I can find. It is Uniquely Creative is the company name, and it's out of Australia. And so it's a chipboard album with several signatures within it that have several different configurations. And so I printed all my pictures, and since I only have a certain amount of pages to fit everything in, that I wanted to pre-plan what pictures were approximately going to go where. So I'll have something on the front. I've kind of planned. I have this picture, or this piece of paper. And I have this here. Somehow I'll fix this hole because I used part of the cut apart on the other side for a different layout I was creating. And then I'm going to use one of these from 49 Market, the Everywhere Cluster Kit. I think I'm going to use most of this. I'm probably not going to use the butterfly, but I'm going to use something along those lines. So that'll be on the cover. And then when I first get started, I go through and I just use my, not the permanent, but I mean, it does become permanent, but I just put a tiny little bit of adhesive on the back of the picture so it'll stick to the page, but not so much that I'll be covering all of that anyway. So even if it does scuff up the back of my paper or the page, that'll be covered up anyway. So I did go ahead and I'm like, okay, the first, I did need to use the front cover instead of just making that decorative. So either that or I'll create, since there's no page protectors, you know, I could make some pockets or some flip outs or something like that. So this will be our first night, which we spent at Friends in Low Places. And then we also flew in on the 4th of July. So that evening, Nashville has a big celebration and big fireworks. And so that's what these two pages are going to focus on. And then, so this particular signature has a flip out here and a flip out here. So basically it's a 4-page layout. And so this is going to be the bands that we saw and listened to at Friends in Low Places. So then the next signature is this whole piece. And so it has just a plain side on this side. So they had a drone show. So this side's going to have the drones as part of the fireworks. And then I have some more firework pictures that had Joe and I with the fireworks in the back. Then this page flips up. And so I've got pictures planned up here of the, I guess, what was this? The Hall of Fame that they had the stars out front. And this was actually right out by our hotel. So that's what's going to go up there. And then more drone pictures are going to go here. This flips open, and then I've got just some pictures from some of the bars that we went to and the musicians. And so I will just kind of talk about those places that we went to. So then the next page flips open. And so this one's just a single page. And so if I do need more room... All right, so I've gotten to the next step. So my next step was to kind of pick out some base papers, and I've kind of got those stuck down and maybe some initial thoughts of where my pictures might go. So again, I just use some light adhesive to make sure that they are stuck. They're not stuck all the way down, so I can still go ahead and ink them if I want to, but so I did decide that this was a paper pack that I got from the same company that I got the album from. So it's Uniquely Creative. and it's an Australian company. And so this is the Industrial Edge paper pack, and so almost everything of my base pages is from that, but they were different variations of this type of paper. So this was my first page. I used the back side of it for the fireworks. Then the inside, what I decided to do, oops, looks like things stuck together, is cut a 12 by 12 piece. So this is a 12 by 12, this is a 12 by 12, and then I basically cut off so it would fit within the 8 by 10 size of the page. And then once I start to decorate, I'll fill in this section with probably the same pieces of paper, something that coordinates and goes with the whole thing. And so my drum page, I actually cut my paper incorrectly, but I'm going to make this work. So this is a black piece of 49 Market Foundations paper. And so I'll use some of my scraps that I have from the other papers, and I'll use those to fill in these sections, and then I'll put a paper down over here on this side. And so on the inside of this one, I did decide to use the black, kind of continue the visualization for this as a whole page. And then when you open up this, that I use the same papers for up here. So this is 2 separate 12 by 12 cut down to fit on each section. And then this page, I just used 2 different pieces of 12 by 12 paper, and these were just 2 separate pages, no additional. And I have this picture kind of stuck in because I don't know if I kind of want to focus on just this picture, and maybe I will find a way to incorporate that within a pocket or something. This page, I had more pictures than what I had room for. So this is a 12 by 12 paper, and I will just glue it down here, and then I left this piece and just scored it so it will be like an extra flap for pictures here and pictures on the outside. This one, just one 12 by 12 cut down to fit, and then within the inside of the paper, same thing, another 12 by 12 cut down to fit, and I will put a coordinating paper here once I get to the point of designing that page. And then the last page is just the pocket, and this is one 12 by 12 cut down, and then this just slides down in to fit within the pocket, and then I covered the pocket and used a punch to get my circle cut out. So that's where I'm at on this stage. We'll check back in here in a little bit once I get started on my pages. When I get to this point, I could actually use some pattern paper or more craft paper and stick another page in here, create one myself, because you have a ½ inch between each of these signatures. So that's going to give me plenty of room, for some dimensional decorations, as well as if I need to add maybe some extra pages. So this is the back of another bigger signature here. Actually, it's not. So these are just 2 plain pages that I could add more to if I need to. Again, more pictures that we went to. And then the last page, oh wait, this one does have a flip out here with some more, just 2 regular pages, so it's just a flip out that opens. And then the back page is a pocket, so I have some of the embellishments that I have pulled out to possibly use on this project, as well as some of the pictures that I had left over that I will likely just make tags and put in here or in any other stories that I may want to tell. After we got home, I did make a list of some of the songs that we heard that were most common, and as you went to different bars, they would play some of the same things. So I just made a list of some of my favorite songs that I heard that weekend and stuck that in here so I can journal about that as well. So then that's just the back cover, so I can decorate how I want to on that. So this is part 1, and we'll see where I go from here. I probably won't record process videos for each page, but I will show you the finished project, and if I have any other tips along the way, I'll show you that too. All right, thank you. Okay, crafty friends, I have completed my Nashville mini album here. And here I have just used a piece of scrap paper towards the end. I did use, I used Distress Ground Espresso on the edges of all my papers, with the exception of on the front. I think I used black soot just because it was such a dark paper. And so there is my cover. Let's see, hold this up so we can avoid the glare. So first page, as I went through, remember I had kind of planned out where I thought my pictures were going to go, and then the next step I went through and picked out mostly like background papers. And really on this one, since it was small enough, I really just kind of did each page as I went along once I planned out what pictures were going to go on what page, since I didn't have, well, I only had a certain number of pages. And this page was kind of a mixture of some things from my stash that I've had for a while, some rub-ons, use some punches just to bring this teal color from the other side to this side. So that's my page 1. Next page we go into the fireworks show that we saw on the 4th of July. I did include some journaling here, some 49er Market rub-ons underneath to add some interest behind the film strips, a sticker for my stash, and just mainly focused on the pictures. That I did have a cut apart paper. This was on like a 3x4 journal card, and so I did fussy cut the guitar to put here on the side just to add more interest to the film strips again. Same thing here, added some rub-ons and stickers and whatnot. And then this one opens up like this. This was still our first day that this was the first guy that we saw sing. I added some journaling here that I actually did get to sing with the singer, that he walked around during the 3rd verse of Friends in Low Places. And I got to sing a line of the song with him when he basically put the microphone in front of my face. So just added some layering of various 49er Market Rust and Rev pieces. That's also where this paper was from, and I believe this paper as well. Rub-ons from that collection. And so to kind of pull everything across the page, I went through and these were the second band that we saw after this one on the same stage at Friends in Low Places. Again, more layering with the 49er Market Rust and Rev. Got some die cut or laser cuts, the bubbles, something like that, and rub-ons, and more journaling, talking about how different bands have songs that they play for a $100 tip. This particular band had 2 they like to play. Well, everybody pretty much plays Freebird, but you do have to pay the $100 tip. It can come from a combined group of people. And then their other one for this band was Devin Went Down to Georgia, because the lead singer played the fiddle. And then this side opens up as well. More pictures from the Huffer Brothers. There's a guy that plays the fiddle. More layering here. And just rub-ons, a few enamel shapes. Here. And another layering cluster there. And there's where I talked about my journaling for The Devil Went Down to Georgia. So then these two flip over to this next signature, which is, we went over the 4th of July. And so that first night was the July 4th. So we had fireworks. I pulled some of the front porch in and grunged it up quite a bit to make it coordinate with the other Rev and Rust. So there's that first page. And then this page up here, our hotel was right in front of the, I don't know if it's like the Hall of Fame, I can't remember what it was called. So I took some pictures of my favorite people who had stars there and made this mechanical waterfall. I found a tutorial on YouTube and created my own. Couple of wheels that I took advantage of the Katie Petite 60% off sale for her birthday over Labor Day weekend, and picked up some of these wheels. And so while testing it, I bought the digital package, and then I could put them into my Cricut and cut them out to any size I wanted. So this was one of my practice ones, and decided to put it in this kit and use it. A couple more clusters up here using the chains. And then the fireworks also had some laser show, so part of it was Star Wars. So I did pick up some of the recent collection, just the faux brads from Simple Stories to include in here. And then a couple of these were actually cut from a die that I have. More of the front porch that I pulled in from 49 and Market. And then these open up, and these pictures were from, we had lunch and breakfast at Kid Rock's Honky Tonk Bar, and then this is the Chiefs, which is, oh shoot, drawing a blank, Eric Church's bar. And then Redneck Riviera, which is from Big and Rich. And this was the stage. This was just a little bar that somehow we got sucked into. And so we sat down and listened to a couple songs. And then this side is the rest of the drone show. So a couple more Star Wars. The flag, and then on our second day, before it got hot, we took a walk over the pedestrian bridge and checked out the river and the views, the stadium. And so just have a couple of clusters from mostly Rust and Rev. The Noted and Travelog were from my stash. That around town, and I think probably that There Is So Much to See was probably from an old, I think it's Pink Fresh. I think that's where that travelogue came from too. And then this cluster, this was just a fountain that you see before you walk over the pedestrian bridge. There were actually people renting bikes and riding in that area, so that's why I put the bicycle there, even though we did not ride bikes. And just a little cluster for decor. And then we carried on our bar tour. This was at, what was this one? Oh, Lucky Bastard's Saloon. And so I just journaled about our walk over the bridge. Made a pocket there behind this big piece. I actually don't remember what collection that came from, but it is 49 a market. And this is more Rust and Rev with a few other items mixed in. I think the arrow, and this might have come from, oh, possibly Moonlit Garden and maybe Gardenia, maybe. All right, and then the next page, I actually created my own flip because I had a few more pictures for this section to include. So when I cut this piece of paper for my background, I just left it, I believe this was like a 9.5, and I just left it for the full 12 by whatever this is. And then to help it stay shut, I did include a magnet here and here, so it will keep it closed and hopefully not get too damaged while people are reviewing. And just included some various layers. And this was at Old Red, which was Blake Shelton's bar. This was from the rooftop. Joe enjoying his beverage. I thought this sign was funny. It was over by the restrooms, actually. And then there was a cutout of Blake Shelton here by the elevator and the stairs to go up and down for his multi-layer or multi-leveled bar. And so we took one of him just standing there, and then we decided to do the pointing thing as well with Blake. So, and then we went to the second floor, and this band was playing, so we played or listened to that for a little bit. Again, just more layers with the same colors that all go with the Rust and Rev. This was from the collection, travel collection previously, and just some other scraps that I had. And this page is documenting the John Bon Jovi. This was actually our last stop before we left to go back home. And since we were celebrating our 29th wedding anniversary, we asked the band to play us a special song. We suggested a few, they didn't know them, so finally I just said, just play a John Bon Jovi song. So they played the only one that they knew, which was You Give Love a Bad Name, which was kind of funny since we were celebrating our anniversary. And let's see, so earlier that day we had eaten lunch at Miranda Lambert's Mexican restaurant, which is on the second floor. The first floor is just a small bar and a small stage for the singers that they have come in. I might still come in and do something here. This looks kind of empty. And I think I was just tired last night when I was working on this, or the night before. And here's another one of those wheels that I cut out when I purchased the digital file from Katie Petite Designs. This was a paper that I pulled. I think this was from American Crafts Cedar House, but it kind of had the feel that I was looking for. And I think this bluish color was actually a Halloween paper from Simple Stories a couple years ago. Again, more clusters that I put together over here. And then the last page is a pocket, and this is how the album comes. And I made 3, this was kind of just the remaining miscellaneous pictures that I have. This was Joe at Jimmy Buffett's, Margaritaville. And this is a picture of inside Jason Aldean. We actually had lunch there one day. I don't think we took any pictures the day we ate lunch, but that was the day we'd been in there previously, just scoping it out. And of course, we had to go visit the Tootsie's, the famous bar. The downstairs is pretty tiny with this little stage over here. This person is standing on the bar singing, and then the bartender was back here. And there was basically just a little bit of seating here and a little bit of seating over here. And so we listened to a song and then moved on up further to the top floor. And they were switching bands at that time. And so this new band started, and she was singing on the bar as well. And then I had a couple cool pictures that I took on the way home from the plane, and just used some rub-ons that I had from 49 Market, Sweet Memories. This is actually coming in to the metro area where I live. And this is a little further out when we're still over some of the farm fields. But I just thought it was a cool picture and wanted to include it. And then the last page is, again, another one on the way home. And I found this chipboard sticker from, I think it's Vicky Booten, and it says, "I can't wait to go back." And that is true. I had never been to Nashville. It was a very cool place. I love live music, and it was just fun to hear everybody play their music. And so I didn't do anything to the back. I might put the date back here, I'm not sure. But other than that, I think I'm going to leave it like this, since it'll probably just be moved around a lot. So that is the conclusion of my album. So hopefully, if you're intimidated by putting together one of these albums, this will help you a lot. And I actually have a lot of dimension in this album, and there was plenty of room for it. I did have to be careful on some of the inside pages and make sure that it was on the outside, so the dimension was in the places where the signature gave you room to do that. So you do need to think about that a little bit while you're putting things together, but other than that, came together pretty easy. So thanks for stopping by. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those below. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.